Okay, Gladiator 2. Let's go. Got this cool poster as well from the movies. Yeah. As you can see, if you're a big Gladiator fan, that's a cool poster that really highlights kind of the really the overarching story of Gladiator 2, with spoilers to a small degree. But Gladiator 2 came out, and I have seen it, and a lot better than I expected. Thank goodness. I'm relieved that it was really good. This movie was announced. I remember the trailer came out and it was announced, and they had a rap song over the trailer, and wasn't prepared for that, of all things. Not really the rap song, but the rap song, which is the whole announcement of Gladiator 2. Was not expecting a sequel to Gladiator. And man, Gladiator is a fantastic film. Oh my gosh, if you haven't seen it, so good, right? And now we have a sequel. And I was going into it, and literally right when the movie started, I was still scared to death of like, oh, this movie, just please be good. I was begging the Roman gods for the movie to be good, and it was. It actually really, really was. It was long, little over 2 hours, but it also didn't feel long. It felt rushed, surprisingly. Bits of the story were rushed. There was a lot in the movie, and that was kind of sad because certain parts felt like they needed to have more, and other parts less, or like they really drilled in some parts like multiple times and stuff, and they're like, yeah, I get it. Like, why are you showing me this again when I need to be seeing more of this? The most important part, the fights, of course. It's Gladiator after all. The fights are really cool, dude. I mean, just as good as the originals. Apart from, they're all just too short. Every bit of the fight is fantastic, just as good as the original Gladiator, as you remember. They fight the Rhino, that's in the trailer, so it's not a spoiler. They fight all the different fights in the movie. I wish I counted them. That would have been smart, Glenn. Um, six, throwing off the bat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-ish. Maybe there's only like 5. 6, kind of depending on how you break down like the last fighting section that leads from the end to the epilogue kind of jam. But they all just seemed really, really short. Like in the trailer, they tease the water battle where they fill the arena with water and have the boat battle. And like I figured that was gonna be one of the very, very big moments of the movie. That was gonna be kind of like the biggest thing. But honestly, the longest fight is the very first fight of the war where Rome comes and conquers this village and takes the main character as a slave to Gladiator thing. And that was the longest fight, honestly. If I think about it, all the arena fights and stuff, it honestly felt like maybe, I mean, they were probably longer than 5 minutes, but in the moment they felt just so short. Like the water battle felt like they did 2 things and it's over. It was kind of very like that the whole movie. And instead of it being focused on Gladiator, the first movie was really just Russell Crowe's character, Maximus, fighting as a gladiator, really. And then kind of the Emperor's story, Joaquin Phoenix's character. I say that because I don't know any actors in this one. Yeah. I need to do my research. Jesus. This movie, it was kind of like the opposite. It was a little more focused on the Roman Empire and the state of the city at the time. And like Rome is kind of like nearing its end. It's falling apart. It's in chaos and corruption due to a dual ruling emperor. They're brothers. And it's the kid from Stranger Things and then a kid I don't know. And I don't know their names. Figure it out yourselves. I'm sorry that I don't have any great facts for these movies. But I mean, all the acting was really good. I can't even think of like the other main guy that everyone was worried about being in the movie. But they all did really good, surprisingly. They didn't steal away from the show or anything, but it was definitely heavily focused on kind of the Roman politics and the state of the city and all that jazz. But then they kind of also have like the main character's story, and I won't really spoil it, despite kind of the trailer already teasing the spoils and stuff. But I was really worried, kind of seeing like who is the main character and how does he relate to like Russell Crowe's character and stuff from the previous movie and all that jazz. If you've watched the trailer, you kind of connect how it seemed really dorky to me that they were going this route. But the way they piece it together in the movie and show it off is actually it I was sold on it. I was content on how they did it, and I wasn't disgusted by it. Like, oh gosh, this is really how they're gonna shoehorn in a sequel to Gladiator, right? It didn't really feel shoehorned in. They actually did a very good job of making it feel connected and real and like an actual thing. And also, it's the Roman Empire from way back when. It was cool to see, some areas and zones, some locations from like the first film. They go to the same like training, like the when they get captured. Maximus from the first movie, and then main guy from this one, Lucius. They end up going to the same like arena for like the tryouts or whatever, like their first little fight. It's the one where he throws the sword in the first movie and says, "Are you not entertained?" That ring, like they go to that same place and he fights some baboons, and it was really good. It was long. It didn't feel long though. It definitely kept your attention. There was, like I said, it kind of rushed through all the moments. So like you didn't really have like a dull moment in the movie. It was very quick. Everything in the movie had a point, had like a purpose. Every scene was very very story driven or action driven. So you couldn't really like look away or get bored. So that was really good. But honestly, that movie could have been much longer and much slowed down. I would have loved to see like some longer fights that was a little more interesting. The fights were really good, nice and bloody and interesting and fun and cool fighting scenes and stuff. Oohs and ahs from the crowd. I got my non-historically accurate popcorn, in the stands of the Coliseum. I remember that from the first movie. People were upset about that. I don't think there was a popcorn bucket in this one. There was a guy selling stuff in the stands, but you couldn't tell what he was selling. He had like a little tray and he was selling stuff. I don't think it was popcorn though. Thank goodness, because that would have just ruined the movie. The music. One of the big things for me was the music. The music in the first film. It was Hans Zimmer, and I mean, dude, you can't beat the music from the first one, and you can't beat Hans Zimmer. I mean, to try and the song in the battle at the very beginning of Gladiator 1 is a masterpiece, and then the music overall in Gladiator, and then of course the ending song is Chef's Kiss. But it's not Hans Zimmer in this one. It's some other guy that I have never heard of, and he has done music and some weird things. So this seemed to be one of his kind of biggest things. But he definitely, I mean, solidly did his homework and studied the music from the first one. It's a lot of there are some tunes, like there's kind of like some little melody themes from the first one that are in the second one, expanded upon and redone and stuff. So the music was fantastic. And then the ending song is in it, I will say. I won't tell you where. But that beautiful song is in the movie. What else to say about it? I mean, gosh. I don't know what to say about it. Denzel Washington, I remember his name now. I was thinking Morgan Freeman forever, and I knew it wasn't him. But we got Denzel Washington in the movie. He did not steal it. Everyone was kind of worried that he was just going to come in and be Denzel Washington. And there's a couple scenes where he kind of goofs as himself. But it's not overbearing. It actually adds to the comedy, to the funniness and stuff of it, which is really good. and he did really well as well. The point, like the point of every character and every scene was definitely very well thought out. Like every single scene and every second of that movie had a purpose, had a point, and was important information for the movie, which kept you entertained the whole time. And that was really good. I can definitely tell they spent a lot of time. Ridley Scott definitely did a very good job of like making sure that everything was important in the film. Um, I would love to just have more of it, honestly. Like I would not care to have more. Just an extended fighter's cut. Like give me the Fight Club version of Gladiator 2. I need more fighting. Cause dang, everything was just a hair too short. It was so rushed and all that. The story came together well. The ending was good. It definitely harkens on the first movie very well. Like it since the first movie is quite old now. What was it, like 2001? So it's been 20 plus years. It's cool to see this is set 16 years after the first film, like in the timeline, and it's really cool to see kind of how they live that the prophecy of the first movie, like live up to it and all that jazz. That the Russell Crowe's character is like talked about in the movie of like what he did and how like important and influential he was to people of Rome and all that jazz. It was really cool to see how well thought out the story actually was, because I was really worried it was just like this shoehorned, like, you don't need to make a Gladiator 2, we don't need that. That's the stupidest, like, what's even gonna be the story? But it was actually very well thought out and very well put together, and very well influenced by the first movie, which was really good. I would definitely recommend it. I mean, if you haven't seen Gladiator 1 and then Gladiator 2, they're fantastic little films. I mean, goodness. I will say that, like, let me bring some downsides. Short and very quick movie. Some people like that, some people don't, but it is still a 2.5-ish hour runtime. So take your pick. The fight scenes were too short. Would love some more fight scenes, definitely, for a movie that's called Gladiator. And then the first movie had these great kind of like cinematography like moments and stuff, the field of wheat and all that jazz. And they do a few of that here and there, but not too much anywhere in this film. And I remember the shot in the first movie where the Emperor's coming through Rome, and it looks like a black and white shot almost, like it comes from the sky and the sky's all gray, and the rose petals are falling down and they're like solid black, and then it slowly changes into color kind of as they zoom into the city. There's like none of that in this movie. It's still very it's very like plain. Like there's no really like artsiness to this movie. It's a very gritty state of Rome, which that's kind of the overall setting. Rome's not in a great place right now. These two ruling brothers story. Okay, you get it. Actors were great. The action was good for what we got. The story was really good and actually very well put together for a movie that honestly I was not expecting or didn't need. But I'm glad that I got it, and now he wants to make a third movie, so. Oh dear. Where do we go from here? Please stop before you ruin it, because I was scared to death that this one was going to be bad. It wasn't, but, you know, that's all I'm going to say. I highly recommend it. I would probably I can't give it 5 out of 5, honestly. The first movie, like, I think I would give 5 out of 5 because, dude, it's such a great movie. The second one, 4 out of 5 probably. Yeah, yeah. If you really want to get mega critical about it, a 3 out of 5. But it was very, the story really pushes it up to a 4, honestly. Like the way that there is a 2.5 hour movie where everything is important and solid gives it a 4 out of 5 to me. That's it. That's all I've got. It's fantastic. Go watch it. Bye.